I got tickets to the ERAS tour. I literally can't believe I'm gonna see Taylor Swift in literally less than a week. If you are new here, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiana. I make a lot of lifestyle, personal growth, fashion, a little bit of fitness and health, wellness, all types of vlogs here on YouTube. And we're diving into travel because we are going to the ERAS tour in Seattle next weekend. Since I got the tickets so last minute, I need all week to prepare, and I'm taking you along with me all the prep, planning, and packing I am doing for the ERAS tour. Right now, I am actually getting ready to go out and buy beads to make the friendship bracelets everybody wears at the ERAS tour. And I thought this would be a perfect time to sit down, explain how I got ERAS tour tickets, and some personal stories of mine from the vault of previous Taylor Swift concerts I've went to, including how I got to hug Taylor Swift at her Speak Now tour. So long story short, I was just working at home Tuesday, July 11th, when I got a text about more tickets being released at the Seattle show of the ERAS tour. I actually paused for a minute and didn't jump on it right away because I don't know if I thought it was legit at the time, but I ended up running down to my mom's office and telling her like, hey, I got this weird text. So I followed through with the text and I realized that these are tickets for the ERAS tour, but I don't actually know if they're like real tickets yet. Like, I hadn't even thought that far. I just got moved forward in the queue and I was actually third in line. And you guys know how crazy this like whole experience has been with getting tickets and Ticketmaster. So anyways, I got through the queue. I almost bought 100 level tickets, but then they sold out so quickly. So I quickly bought 4 tickets. We're sitting in section 313, row D. And honestly, I've never seen a concert in 300 level before. Just long story short, my mom has connections. So I've always seen concerts in either the 100 section or on the floor because my mom has good connections. So she's always been able to get us really great tickets. But anyways, I grabbed 4 tickets as quick as I could. And keep in mind, I was third in the queue. By the time I was putting these tickets through, there was only 5 options left. So I ended up snagging 4 tickets for $209 US each. Obviously, money is subjective, but I actually thought this was a really good deal because we only ended up spending 1,300 Canadian. And the last time I previously looked at buying ERAS tour tickets after they had already gone on sale in November, they were selling for $1,300 a piece. So I personally felt like these tickets we got were the cheapest we were going to get at all. Now this is so funny because I am so naive. When this was going on, I immediately texted my friends and I was like, oh my God, guess what? You're never, ever, ever gonna believe what happened. And then my friend texted me, oh my God, you got Taylor Swift tickets too. And I was like, what the F? So I realized by then that obviously Ticketmaster had just released a bunch of unsold tickets for the Seattle shows. And me and all my friends got tickets to the Saturday and Sunday night show. So me and my family are all going to the Saturday night show, July 22nd in Seattle. How I got these tickets is still a mystery to me, but I have 2 explanations. The first one is obviously super logical, but there are some things that don't make sense. So I feel like talking about the second theory will make sense later. When tickets were first released in November, I signed up to get a notification about the Seattle shows, but also the LA shows. So when it came to the release date, I only got a text about the LA shows and I like made it through the queue. There was tons of tickets available. I can't remember. I think they were going for $500 to $600 US a piece at the time. I remember thinking that was pretty pricey, especially because none of my friends wanted to commit to going to LA, which I think in hindsight, in the future, if Taylor Swift ever does like a huge tour like this, if I did get tickets to an LA show, like if I got the opportunity to buy them, I definitely would because A, you get a trip out of it, and B, waiting around to see if you're gonna get tickets way later was honestly a nightmare. And so because I never got a text for the Seattle show, I just decided then and there, okay, well, I'm gonna wait for international dates to come out and I'll go in Canada, or you know, I'll just buy tickets closer to if she doesn't come out with international dates soon. So that was November, and I think in like winter 2023, like I want to say January, February, I looked at ERAS tour tickets, and obviously I should have thought about this, but all the tickets had doubled in price. It was around $1,300 to $2,600 US to buy one ticket to the ERAS tour. I was obviously devastated, but I just wasn't gonna pay that kind of money. I would have had to go by myself because my family wasn't interested in paying that kind of money. So I decided to hold out for hope for the international tour. So a couple weeks ago, she ended up releasing her international tour dates, coming out with all tour dates, and none of the shows included Canada, which all Swifties are still pissed about because there's still no details of a Canadian tour. So this was just complete frustration at this point, and honestly, I kind of was just trying to accept the fact that I'm probably not going to go to this tour because I'm graduating next April. I did hum and haw about the idea of buying tickets in Milan because I am going to be in Italy in July next summer. I don't know exactly when, so that is part of why I haven't bought tickets or even really looked into them that deeply yet, but it was definitely a thought in my mind. Then flash forward to last Tuesday, July 11th, I get this text. I buy the tickets and all of a sudden I'm going to the ERAS tour in Seattle. But you guys already know this. What's confusing to me at this point is because I never got a text about the Seattle show initially. I was kind of floored that I got a text the second go around. This might have been because I signed up for Taylor Nation right after when I missed out on the first round of tickets going in Seattle. But I honestly have no idea. It might be because I initially registered to get texts about Seattle but never got any. So that is like how I got tickets. But there still are some questions, obviously. But I think what's crazy to me is I obviously knew the ERAS tour was coming to Seattle in July, and it's obviously been going on all summer, and I've been keeping up with it on Twitter and Instagram and pretty much every social media platform that posts about it. But like at this point, I had accepted that I was not going to the ERAS tour. I was like, it's not happening. Like, I'm just gonna hope and just believe that I will get tickets eventually at some other time, wherever that may be. Because so much shit had hit the fan that I was just not sure when and where I'd ever get tickets. But what was really interesting, and I can't remember if I shared my summer bucket list with you guys, but one of my goals, and I also put this on my bucket list for not only 2023, but also the summer, that I wanted to go on like a mini trip. Now, this is interesting because my family and I kind of made the executive decision that we weren't going to travel this year as a family, and I also decided that as myself, with my friends, as an individual for my job, I'm not going to be traveling this summer because there's a lot of things I need to take care of at home between summer school and trying to wrap up my degree as quickly as possible, working and making money with my day job, also just working on my business as a content creator as a whole. It made sense to stay home and not do any sort of big travel plans. But my family and I had hummed and hawed about doing a little trip. I kept mentioning to my mom I wanted to go to Seattle. Because it was going to be a little trip, it was going to be a road trip, nowhere we would fly. Some other ideas that came to mind were the Okanagan or doing a bed and breakfast in Langley that I stayed at last summer and really enjoyed. But whenever I kept thinking about a summer trip, I was kind of like manifesting it in my head. Like I really wanted to go somewhere. I kept envisioning Seattle. And obviously, like, I was aware that the Taylor Swift concert was happening in Seattle, but I had never envisioned going to the ERAS tour while envisioning the Seattle trip. I just kept envisioning going to Seattle, specifically the Pike Place Market, and doing all the things my family and I used to do when we would go on our annual Seattle trip every summer. Context, we used to go on an annual Seattle trip every summer. We did our back to school shopping there when we were younger, and we haven't gone in a couple years. So I kept thinking about this trip that we used to do. It isn't that expensive. We go as a family, we do a road trip. We usually have such a good time. We do some shopping. We eat at some quintessential restaurants. We do the whole like US road trip thing that I'm sure a lot of Canadians are familiar with if they live close to the border. So it's crazy to me that these tickets just came out of nowhere, and we were not only given an opportunity to go to the Taylor Swift concert, but also get a chance to travel, and not only to travel and do like the small trip that still is aligning with our plans for the summer, but to go to Seattle, which was the exact place I was envisioning. So that to me was just like, this is such a sign from the universe that we need to do this. So we decided to take the plunge, and honestly, I have not been this excited for anything in so long. Probably since I went to New York last summer for New York Fashion Week in September. This is so bucket list and so cool that I get to experience it with my family. And I'm sure you're wondering, you know, this is a Taylor Swift concert. Like, don't you want to go with your friends? And obviously, if I had the opportunity to go with my friends, I would love it. But because of the ticketing scandal, it was just easier for everybody to buy their own tickets, and none of us got tickets together, obviously. So it wasn't really realistic in this situation with how the ticketing worked out. But for me personally, I'm actually very excited to go with my family because I've actually already been to 2 Taylor Swift concerts. I've been to the Speak Now tour, and I went with my mom, and I will talk more about that because that is when Taylor Swift hugged me. And then I went to the 1989 tour with my dad. So I went to the Speak Now tour when I was 10 years old. I was in 5th grade. We were sitting in section 106. We were in the front row, so we had super great seats. And so then she was performing You Belong With Me, right? Which is my favorite song. It's actually my karaoke song. And this was at Rogers Arena at the time. And so she actually walked around the entire base of the arena and hugged everybody in the front row on the 100 level. So that's how I got a hug. It's so shitty because my mom was actually going to take a picture with my camera I had at the time, which was a silver and pink Canon. No idea the actual type of camera, but I had a silver and pink Canon camera, and my mom went to take a picture and some girl hit her to get a picture, so she didn't get a picture. But I'll never forget Taylor Swift's skin. She was like cover girl at the time, like on the magazine, and her skin was just so soft, and it was just a crazy experience. I'm like being transported now as I talk about it. And so that was so cool. She's wearing that purple dress that she wore during the Speak Now tour, the one she sang so many songs in. And she walked around the entire stadium and hugged everybody in the first row of the 100 level. I think in between the bridge, If You Belong With Me, and it was an amazing experience. That concert was unreal. The sets were so crazy amazing. Then the second show I went to, and I actually feel like I lucked out pretty good because I've gone to my favorite shows. I went to the 1989 tour. So I do have regrets about missing the Red tour, but I actually wasn't here. So the 1989 tour, I was 15 years old, and I believe I went the summer between grade 9 and 10. That concert, I went with my dad. The first one I went with my mom. And so we were at BC Place. So at this concert, my mom didn't have as many connections, but we were able to get pretty good seats. I believe we were in section 112. If Taylor Swift was like here, if this was the stage, we were like back here and we could see her like from this view. It was honestly a pretty good view. And I remember just loving that show because 1989, when that album came out, I wasn't super sure if I loved it. And this was also her seamless transition to pop. But I remember the more I listened to it, the more I love the songs. And to this day, I think I still resonate with that album the most in my personality. Like, I want to live in New York one day, and just like some things, some of the songs like Style and like Clean, those songs just really resonate with me. I Know Places, even Out of the Woods, which I hated at the time, but now I love, I think because I actually understand the lyrics. Wildest Dreams, just so many good songs on that album that I'm just obsessed with. And I think this was her era of really being like, I can do anything. And I feel like that was so inspiring to watch. Her costuming was amazing. This was her Victoria's Secret model era, I believe, when she was really good friends with Karlie Kloss. Like, she had that short bob haircut. Unreal, such an amazing show. And I can't believe now that I'm 22 years old. I'm literally 22. Going to see Taylor Swift on July 22nd. Like, listen to the synchronicities here. In Seattle at the ERAS tour, and I'm gonna get to see her perform literally every era, and I'm so excited to take you along with me. This video, as I said in the beginning, is gonna be all the prepping, planning, and packing. We'll be making friendship bracelets together because we're besties. I will be giving you great examples of how to dress like each era because I love fashion. It's one of my passions. You can tell I watched Bratz when I was younger, though I am very excited for the Barbie movie. That will have its own moment on my channel, you best believe, so make sure you're subscribed. I'll be planning the Seattle trip because we're going the Friday and then we're leaving this Sunday. So other than having the ERAS tour on Saturday, we have Friday and Sunday to basically do whatever we want, and you will see all of that in next week's vlog. I'll also be planning specific ERAS tour content, so if you haven't gone to the concert yet or you're going to the ERAS international tour, you have all the ideas for content if you're trying to be a content creator or you just literally love making content to have memories on your social media platforms or for yourself. I personally, that's one of the reasons I love making content and doing this as my job. We'll obviously be packing, and you know, it'll be a vlog. We'll do all the classic vlog things that you do with me. Stay tuned. Let's go to the store to buy beads for our friendship bracelets.
Inside of the same old
Excuse the lighting. I've got a little spotlight on my room, but we are packing today. I'm actually leaving today for Seattle, so we are in such a hurry. I know exactly what I need to bring, but first I want to go over my travel plans with you guys and outline the details of the trip, including the ERAS tour concert and what I've got planned. So let's quickly do that before I pack so you guys know exactly what I'm packing for. You guys know I make a Notion page for everything, so let's go through what is on the agenda. Okay, so for today, it's Friday. We've got crumble cookie. We're gonna go straight to the hotel, and then we're gonna do downtown Seattle tonight. Probably do the Cheesecake Factory. It's just like a novelty that I haven't gone to since I was a kid, so we're gonna do that. And we're kind of like doing all the novelty stuff on this trip because it's such a short trip that we don't really have time to explore with the ERAS tour taking up most of Saturday. We might try to go to the Blue Jays game because obviously we're Canadian and there's only one Canadian baseball team, God knows why, but there is. So we might try to do that tonight. Tomorrow is the ERAS tour concert on Saturday. We're gonna start by going to a local coffee shop and doing the Pike Place Market. I don't think the Pike Place Market will take too long, and I feel like it's a great way to fill the morning. We'll come back to the hotel, get ready for the ERAS tour, and I will film all of that whole jazz. I have no idea what I'm wearing to the ERAS tour yet. I'm packing multiple outfits because I'm gonna decide like in the moment tomorrow. So stay tuned for that because I'm not sure what I will be wearing yet. When I made that cute little reel of all the outfits for the different eras, I was really impressed by how I was able to come up with like outfit inspo for each era, like right on the spot, because I didn't plan it at all. I only planned the order. I had like a vague idea of like certain eras like Lover, Speak Now, Fearless, but the other eras I had no idea, and I just made outfits up on the spot, and I actually was really happy with how they turned out. So that was really cool. I love fashion, so always fun getting to flex my fashion muscles. And then Sunday we're going home that day. We're gonna do Target. We're gonna do Trader Joe's, Costco, basically just grocery shopping. Don't really need any outfits for that. And so that is the travel plans. I just wanna go over the content I wanna create. So I obviously wanna do like an outfit reveal on Instagram and TikTok. I have this prep and pack vlog for YouTube. We'll also have the weekend vlog in Seattle featuring the ERAS tour. And then basically everything else, I just wanna film as much video clips as I can, take as many photos, and then after the trip is over, I'll look at everything I have and I'll either do like a Seattle recap reel or a voiceover TikTok, or I will do a photo dump of Seattle, a photo dump of the ERAS tour. I'm gonna have like the way I plan on taking content is I'll have enough content to do a feature post on Instagram, whether it's a reel or photo dump of Seattle on its own and the ERAS tour on its own. I probably will do a reel no matter what because I will be sharing some stuff to TikTok. I might do a voiceover vlog. I feel like that'd be really fun. I'm trying to get into like longer form content on TikTok. I feel like it's better for the community I have. I have a very like engaged community on TikTok that really wants to become the best version of themselves, romanticize their life, love themselves. And so I'm really trying to tune into that right now.
Moments later.
With my eyes closed, I need a